chosen ones, why ignoring these vibrational signs could cost you everything. Have you ever had a feeling you couldn't explain? Maybe it was a gut instinct that told you to avoid a certain situation, or an unshakable pull toward a decision that didn't make any logical sense. Perhaps it was a strange synchronicity, like thinking about someone moments before they called, or seeing the same number pattern everywhere you went. Most people dismiss these experiences as coincidence, as random noise in the chaos of life. But let me tell you something that very few people truly understand: these moments are not random. They are vibrational signs, signals from the universe, directly guiding you toward your higher purpose. And if you've been ignoring them, you're not just missing out, you're risking everything. You see, chosen ones experience life differently. While most people are lost in the distractions of the material world, we operate on a deeper, more intuitive level. Whether you realize it or not, you are constantly receiving signals from the universe. These signs come in many forms: feelings, symbols, synchronicities, even physical sensations. They are the language of vibration, the universe's way of aligning you with the path you were meant to walk. But here's the problem: most of us have been conditioned to ignore them. We've been taught to rely on logic, to stick to the safe and practical choices, to silence the voice inside of us that's trying to guide us towards something greater.
Click subscribe to this channel to get more profound spiritual lesson.
Let me ask you something: how often do you feel like you're out of alignment? Like you're stuck in a cycle that doesn't feel like it belongs to you? Maybe you're in a job that drains you, a relationship that feels hollow, or a life that seems disconnected from your soul. That feeling of disconnection is not a coincidence. It's a symptom of ignoring the vibrational signs that the universe has been sending you. Every time you dismiss that inner voice, every time you brush off the synchronicities, every time you convince yourself that it's just your imagination, you stray further from the life you were meant to live. But here's the truth: the universe never stops speaking to you. It's relentless in its efforts to wake you up, to remind you of who you are and why you're here. The signs will start small, a subtle nudge, a quiet whisper, but if you continue to ignore them, they get louder. The universe will do whatever it takes to get your attention, even if it means shaking up your entire life. Have you ever experienced a sudden, unexpected event that turned your world upside down? Maybe it was a breakup, a job loss, or even a health crisis. These moments are often wake-up calls, the universe's way of saying, "You've been ignoring the signs for too long, and now I'm forcing you to pay attention." So, why do we ignore these signs? Why do we resist the guidance that's trying to lead us toward our highest potential? The answer is fear. We're afraid of stepping into the unknown, of leaving behind the comfort and security of what we know, even if it's not serving us. We're afraid of what people will think, of failing, of discovering that we're not as capable as we hope we are. And so we stay stuck, clinging to the familiar, even as our soul screams for something more. But let me tell you something: ignoring these vibrational signs is far more dangerous than following them. When you resist the universe's guidance, you create tension within yourself. That tension manifests as anxiety, depression, burnout, and even physical illness. Your body and mind are not designed to live out of alignment with your soul, and the longer you ignore the signs, the more your life will feel like it's falling apart. The good news is that it's never too late to start paying attention. The universe is patient. It doesn't matter how many signs you've ignored in the past. What matters is that you're here now, ready to listen, ready to align, ready to step into the life you were always meant to live. And it starts with one simple choice: trust. Trust the feelings, the synchronicities, the moments that seem too perfect to be random. Trust that they are leading you somewhere important, even if you can't see the full picture yet. Let me ask you something powerful. What signs have you been ignoring? What feelings, patterns, or synchronicities have been showing up in your life, trying to get your attention? And what would happen if you stopped dismissing them and started trusting them instead? This journey is not about becoming someone new, it's about remembering who you've always been. The chosen ones are not chosen because they're special or different, they are chosen because they are willing to wake up, to listen, and to align. And that's exactly what you are being called to do right now. The power of alignment, how to decode vibrational signs and trust their guidance. Let's dive deeper into something truly life-changing: alignment. This is the key to understanding why vibrational signs matter and how they work. Alignment is when your thoughts, emotions, actions, and energy all flow in harmony with your higher purpose. It's when you stop fighting the current of life and start moving with it, trusting that the universe has a plan far greater than anything you can imagine. But here's the truth: most people are out of alignment. They're disconnected from their intuition, stuck in routines that don't serve them, and blind to the signs that could guide them back to their true path. And this disconnection is why so many feel lost, uninspired, and unfulfilled. You might be wondering, what does it really mean to be in alignment? It's not some abstract, mystical idea. It's a state of being where everything feels right, even if it doesn't make logical sense. Have you ever experienced a moment where things just clicked? Maybe it was an unexpected opportunity that felt like it was meant for you, or a conversation that shifted your entire perspective. Those moments are glimpses of alignment. When you're in alignment, life flows. You attract the right people, the right opportunities, the right experiences, almost effortlessly. It's not that challenges disappear, but when they come, you face them with a sense of purpose and clarity. But here's the thing: alignment doesn't happen by accident. It requires you to pay attention to the vibrational signs the universe is sending you. These signs are like a map, guiding you toward the life you're meant to live. And the more you ignore them, the more lost you'll feel. So, how do you start decoding these signs and trusting their guidance? It begins with awareness. The vibrational signs are always there. The question is, are you noticing them? Let's look at how these signs show up in your life. They can be as subtle as a recurring thought or feeling, or as obvious as a major synchronicity you can't ignore. Have you ever had a song play at the exact moment you needed to hear its message, or kept seeing the same number sequence, like 111 or 444, over and over again? These aren't coincidences, they're messages. The universe communicates in patterns, symbols, and energy, but most people brush these signs off, thinking they're random. They're not. One of the most powerful vibrational signs comes from your emotions. Your feelings are like a compass, constantly telling you whether you're in alignment or out of it. When you feel joy, excitement, and peace, that's your soul saying, yes, this is the way. When you feel anxiety, frustration, or resistance, it's a signal to pause and pay attention. But here's where it gets tricky sometimes. Fear can disguise itself as resistance. That's why it's so important to go deeper, to ask yourself, is this fear holding me back from growth, or is it my intuition guiding me away from something not meant for me? Let me ask you something: how often do you listen to your emotions without judgment? Most of us are conditioned to suppress our feelings, to push through discomfort and ignore what our inner world is telling us. But your emotions are one of the clearest ways the universe communicates with you. The next time you feel something strongly, whether it's joy, fear, or unease, take a moment to sit with it. Ask yourself, what is this trying to tell me? Where is it guiding me? The answers might surprise you. Another way vibrational signs show up is through synchronicities. These are the moments that feel too perfect to be random. Maybe you're thinking about starting a new project, and suddenly you meet someone who has exactly the resources or connections you need. Or you're struggling with a decision, and you keep hearing the same phrase or advice from different sources. These synchronicities are not accidents, they're the universe's way of saying, you're on the right track. Keep going. The more aligned you are, the more frequently these signs will appear. It's almost like the universe is cheering you on, showing you that you're moving in the direction of your purpose. But here's the challenge: trusting the signs. This is where most people get stuck. They see the signs, they feel the nudge, but they second-guess themselves. They let logic override their intuition. They think, this doesn't make sense, or what if I'm wrong? And in that moment of doubt, they miss the opportunity to step into alignment. Let me tell you something important: the signs won't always make sense. They're not supposed to. The universe operates on a level of intelligence far beyond our understanding. Trusting the signs means trusting that there's a bigger plan, even if you can't see it yet. Think about the times in your life when you ignored a sign. Maybe you stayed in a situation that felt wrong, even though your intuition was screaming at you to leave. Or you dismissed an opportunity because it didn't fit into your plan, only to realize later that it was exactly what you needed. We've all done this, but every time you ignore a sign, you delay your growth. You move further away from alignment. That's why it's so important to start paying attention now, to start trusting now. Let me ask you another deep question. What would your life look like if you stopped ignoring the signs and started following them? What would happen if you trusted your intuition, even when it felt scary or uncertain? The truth is, the more you trust, the stronger the signs become. It's like a feedback loop. The universe sees that you're paying attention, and it responds by sending you even clearer guidance. This is the power of alignment. It's not about having all the answers or knowing exactly where you're going. It's about trusting the process, listening to the signs, and taking one aligned step at a time. When you do this, life transforms. The chaos starts to make sense, the confusion fades away, and you begin to see that everything, every challenge, every sign, every moment was leading you exactly where you were meant to go. The risks of resistance, why ignoring the universe's call, can derail your destiny. Resistance is one of the most powerful forces that can hold you back from stepping into the life you were meant to live. It's subtle, insidious, and often disguised as logic, fear, or a desire for comfort. But make no mistake, resistance is the #1 reason people miss their calling. It's what happens when you ignore the vibrational signs the universe is sending you, when you dismiss your intuition, when you choose familiarity over growth. And while resistance might feel safe in the short term, it carries a heavy cost, a cost that could derail your destiny entirely. Think about a time in your life when you felt a pull to do something bold, something different, something that didn't make sense on paper but felt undeniably right in your heart. Maybe it was leaving a job that no longer fulfilled you, pursuing a creative passion, or walking away from a toxic relationship. There was likely a moment when you knew, deep down, what you needed to do. But instead of acting, you hesitated. You told yourself it wasn't the right time, that it was too risky, that you weren't ready. That hesitation is resistance, and if you felt it, you're not alone, we all have. Resistance often shows up as fear. Not the kind of fear that protects you from danger, but the fear of stepping into the unknown, The fear of failure, of judgment, of losing the life you've built, even if that life isn't aligned with your soul. This fear is a natural part of the journey, but the problem arises when you let it control you. When you choose fear over faith, you cut yourself off from the flow of the universe. You block the very guidance that's trying to lead you toward your purpose. Let me ask you something. How often do you let fear dictate your choices? How many times have you felt the pull to go one way but chose the safer path instead? And what has that cost you? Because every time you resist the universe's call, you pay a price. That price might look like unfulfilled potential, missed opportunities, or a constant feeling of what if, but the most painful cost of resistance is the disconnection from your true self. When you ignore the vibrational signs, you're not just saying no to opportunities, you're saying no to yourself. You're saying no to the version of you that's waiting on the other side of fear. And over time, this disconnection grows. You start to feel stuck, uninspired, even lost. You may not realize it at first, but the signs of resistance begin to show up in your life. They might look like burnout, a lack of motivation, or a nagging sense that something is missing. These feelings are not random, they're the universe's way of trying to wake you up, to remind you that you're out of alignment. But here's the thing about resistance: it doesn't just keep you stuck. It creates a ripple effect that impacts every area of your life. When you resist the universe's call, you block the flow of abundance, creativity, and opportunities. Have you ever noticed how, when you're out of alignment, everything feels harder? Relationships become strained, work feels like a grind, and even small tasks drain your energy. This isn't a coincidence. Resistance creates energetic blockages that prevent you from accessing the flow state where life feels effortless and aligned. So why do we resist? The answer lies in how we've been conditioned. Society teaches us to value logic over intuition, to prioritize stability over passion, to seek approval instead of authenticity. We're taught to follow a path that looks good on the outside, even if it feels empty on the inside. And while this conditioning might keep us comfortable, it also keeps us small. It keeps us from taking the bold, soul-aligned actions that lead to true fulfillment. But there's another layer to resistance, one that's even more profound. At its core, resistance is a fear of transformation. Because stepping into alignment means letting go of the old version of yourself, the version that clings to comfort and certainty. It means shedding the beliefs, habits, and identities that no longer serve you. And that process can feel like a death of sorts. But what's on the other side of that death? Rebirth, expansion, freedom. Let me ask you something. What would happen if you stopped resisting? If you stopped letting fear dictate your choices and started trusting the universe instead? What would your life look like if you said yes to the signs, even when they scared you? The truth is, the only way to overcome resistance is to face it head-on, to acknowledge the fear without letting it control you, to take the leap even when you don't know where you'll land. This isn't about being reckless or abandoning logic. It's about finding the balance between your mind and your soul. It's about recognizing that the universe's guidance doesn't always make sense in the moment, but it always makes sense in hindsight. When you look back on your life, the dots will connect. You'll see how every vibrational sign, every moment of alignment, was leading you somewhere extraordinary. But here's the catch: you have to listen. You have to trust. Because the universe can only guide you as far as you're willing to go. And the longer you resist, the harder it becomes to hear its call. Resistance is not your enemy, it's a mirror. It shows you where you're holding yourself back, where you're clinging to the familiar instead of embracing the unknown. And when you choose to move through resistance, to step into the flow of the universe, you unlock a life that's bigger, brighter, and more aligned than anything you could have imagined. The awakening: how surrendering to the signs unlocks your true potential. There comes a point in every chosen one's journey when the tug of the universe becomes impossible to ignore. The signs grow louder, the synchronicities more frequent, and the pull towards something greater becomes undeniable. This is the awakening. It's the moment when you realize that life is not happening to you, it's happening for you. It's when you understand that the vibrational signs you've been receiving are not random but deliberate, designed to guide you toward the highest expression of yourself. But the question is, will you surrender to them? Surrender is not a word that comes easily to most of us. It sounds like giving up, like losing control. But in truth, surrender is the most powerful act of trust you can ever take. It's not about giving up your dreams or desires, it's about releasing the need to control every outcome. It's about stepping back and allowing the universe to lead, knowing that it sees the bigger picture that you cannot. And here's where the real magic happens: when you surrender to the signs, when you allow them to guide your actions, you unlock a level of potential that you didn't even know existed. Think about it this way: the universe is like a master conductor, orchestrating the events of your life in perfect harmony. Every sign, every synchronicity, every intuitive nudge is a note in the symphony of your destiny. But when you resist, when you try to control the melody, you create dissonance. You disrupt the flow. Surrendering is not about giving up your power, it's about aligning with the greater power that's always been working in your favor. Let me ask you something: what would it feel like to let go of the need to know every step of the journey? To trust that the signs are leading you exactly where you need to be, even if the path doesn't look like you expected. This is the essence of surrender. It's not passive, it's deeply active. It requires courage, faith, and an unwavering commitment to follow the guidance you've been given. When you surrender to the signs, you start to notice something incredible. Life begins to flow. Opportunities appear out of nowhere. The right people come into your life at the perfect time. Challenges that once felt insurmountable suddenly dissolve, or you find the strength to move through them with grace. This isn't luck, it's alignment. It's the reward of trusting the universe and stepping into the flow of your destiny. But surrendering doesn't mean the journey will always be easy. In fact, the path of a chosen one is often filled with challenges designed to test your commitment to your purpose. These challenges are not punishments, they are initiations. They are opportunities for you to grow, to shed the old layers of yourself, and to step into your true power. The universe will never give you a sign or a task that you're not ready for. If you've been called, it's because you're capable. Let me share something profound. The vibrational signs you've been receiving are not just about guiding you, they're about awakening you. They're inviting you to remember who you truly are. You are not just a body, a mind, or a collection of experiences. You are a soul, a being of infinite potential, connected to the divine intelligence that governs the universe. When you surrender to the signs, you're not just aligning with your purpose, you're aligning with your true nature. But here's the most beautiful part: when you awaken to your potential, you don't just transform your own life, you become a light for others. Your journey inspires those around you. Your courage to follow the signs gives others permission to do the same. This is the ripple effect of awakening. It's not just about you, it's about the collective. The universe chose you because it knew you could handle this responsibility, this gift. So, let me ask you one final question. Are you ready to surrender? Are you ready to trust the signs, to follow the guidance, to step into the life you were always meant to live? Because everything you've been searching for is already within you. The signs are simply pointing the way. This is your moment. The universe is speaking to you, calling you to rise, to awaken, to remember. The only thing standing between you and your highest potential is the choice to trust. And when you make that choice, when you surrender fully, you won't just change your life, you'll change the world.